Hey everybody, it's Andy's Free Guitar Chart Videos. How y'all doing today? Welcome to my YouTube subscribers and my Facebook friends, and anyone who's found this video, please like and subscribe and follow the link put together below the video to access Andy's Free Guitar Chart Videos group on Facebook, where you can view the videos in one long segment and the static charts in fairly good magnification. However, the best way to look at to get into things like what's up here is to watch the videos. So I think we covered this the other lesson, or we tried to. So there's like this overlap. We might cover chart 417 a little bit, or 18, and then, but it's been a week ago, and I have a little more refined approach to the problem of half positions. I'm just showing you here how we can zoom in here, and we spent quite a lot of time reading that. Now on the Facebook, the resolution for this isn't terrific. You can't read it. I think we did that last week too. So let's go to the next. I made some before we go to the next chart. We're again looking at the open capo half positions. I've got some explaining to do for beginners or people who just, appreciate reviewing this. In the open position, okay, every guitar has an open position, no matter what you're tuned to. And by the way, no matter what you're tuned to has nothing to do with the open position. Okay, so you're tuned here. This is your open position. If you were to put a capo anywhere on your guitar, that would be the open position. So we would have, at that point, we have the C. Let's move me down here. We have the C position. Okay, then we go to the A, and that's the key of A. So that we had the key of C, C-shaped C. Now we have the key of A-shaped A. Then we have the key of G, G-shaped G. And we have the key of E, E-shaped E. Okay, and then what's last? The key of D. Okay, the key of D, D-shaped D. So that's the review. So when we talk about different shapes, now I'm going to be looking up at the chart. You're going to be looking at the chart too. When we talk about different shapes, and by the way, it spells caged, but when we're looking at the fretboard in the cage sense, we would say start here. Here's your position here, where the E is the third of the key of C, because I do my stuff in root C guitar. That means the low E is the third of C, and my guitar being down tuned 3, that's my low E string note. So we look at C, the C shaped, and then the A shape starts here on the 5th, the outer note of the C string shape, which is the bottom string of the C cage, okay, or the C E G cage. That's 1 4 5. So it's a C shaped, E shaped F, and a G shaped G. Then we go to the A, the G, the E, and the D there. Everybody loves to do that, right? Now with my guitar, my particular guitar, Andy's guitar, is down C tuned here. So sure, I have the capo right here where the C is, where the E is here. This is your E. So your tuning is, okay? And then mine is down tuned, so I have a D position down here. Okay, so I have that D position down here. I can play that D shape. So that's no longer D now. We have here's the real deal D. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2, 3. G is the third of D. Try that one more time. The real deal D. Here's our D. E's the second. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Root is D. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Root 2, 3, 4. There you go. G is the fourth of D. So if it's wrong, just do it again. So that's a little review of how, when we look at the different shapes, spelling the word caged, C-A-G-E-D there, then we're going to have the interlocking of the cages. So the outer note of C is the fifth, and the inner note of A is also the fifth, and the outer note of A is the sixth, and the inner note of G is also the sixth. The outer note of G is the root. The inner note, well, 7 root actually. So that interlocking is like a buddy interlock too. 7 root interlocks, and 3/4 also interlocks. Let's look at the C up here on the fretboard. Now this is the fretboard where the cages aren't columnized. Calamars. Sounds like calamari. Squid. Italian squid. Haven't had that. I think I had it once in my life. Anyway, we used to have a tech that we nicknamed Squiddo. But his name was really Jerry. Anyway, so here we have, and this is a technical approach to this, obviously. So here's our 3/4 buddy with the D goes 2, 3, 4 in the D string shape, the bottom string of the D box with the 5 root 3 right there, second inversion, D shape. Most action fingers chord. Okay. And then we have the 3/4 sharing with the C shape. So that's buddy sharing. Let's look at, now I've rearranged them in the next chart, but before we go to the next chart, so it doesn't spell caged, but it goes in fourths. So the fourth of C is the E shape, the fourth of the E shape is the A shape, the fourth of the A shape is the D shape, the fourth of the D shape is the G shape, and you guessed it, the fourth of the G shape is the C shape. So we would do it in fourths at that point. I just want to take a quick look at what do we got here. So say we're in the A box here. We're playing in the A box. Now we can either play in A major. I tell you, it's independent of key, but you want to settle down on a key. So for those of you who need this, A major is where you'd have your fret nut is where my finger is, so that's the end of your guitar. There's nothing up here but music box. So here's your A. Alright. Now you could have that A, or you can do, if you move this particular shape, just these 3 notes, okay? Now my eyes aren't that good, but action fingers. Now I move the middle note, which is the root. I move that and the other 3, and right here, rather, the root here. And by the way, that's a nice second inversion right there in the A shape, but it's sunken in the tripentatonic ADE shape. The ADE box has a nice second inversion there, 5 root 3. Now that is the root. That's not the 5 root 3 that's below the root triad, which would be moving 1 down, you would move it down. So you